Hello, everybody. My name is Keith Kasarjan. I'm the Director of International Studies for the Bear Valley Bible Institute of Denver. Today I'm with Denny Petrillo, the President of the Bear Valley Bible Institute of Denver, as well as Dave Miller and Eric Lyons from Apologetics Press. Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
Doing great.
Good, good.
Well.
It's good to see you guys. Three of us are practically neighbors, but we almost never see each other here in central Alabama, but we're all busy and missing a lot of times. But we're good friends. All of us are friends, but even more than that, even more importantly, we're brothers and co-workers in the kingdom. And I thought today we would just spend a few minutes kind of exploring the different points at which our works intersect, because while they in some ways are different, but they also intersect at times too. And I thought some folks would like to hear how that works, and it might be very encouraging to our listeners. Denny, will you tell us how the Apologetics Press guys have really improved the program in Denver?
You bet. I've been involved in full-time work for over 40 years. And Dave, I think, has celebrated his 70th year in full-time ministry. Is that about right, Dave?
Well, it depends on how you define ministry, I guess.
But one of the things that I remember early on when I first started preaching is that you could set up a Bible study with someone and it really was a Bible study. They accepted the Bible as the Word of God and being authoritative. Well, there are fewer and fewer people that are like that today. Instead, we need evidences. Atheists have done such a good job of getting people to doubt the existence of God, to doubt the inspiration of the Bible. And so as at the Bear Valley Bible Institute, which is located in Denver, we have young men that are coming and training for ministry. Well, if they're going to be successful in ministry, they are going to have to be equipped in evidences. And so as we're thinking about our curriculum, I couldn't help but say, let's get the best. Let's get the AP guys to teach classes for us. And so we're very blessed at Bear Valley to have Dave Miller and Eric Lyons and Kyle Butt to teach classes on Christian apologetics. And then Jeff Miller teaches a class on Christian evidences. And these guys have brought so much to the table as far as our curriculum and our program. And our students have benefited so much from the material that they bring, because it really is equipping them to meet 21st century man and the questions people have about evidences. So that's our program right now, and we're really blessed to be in partnership with the AP guys.
Yeah, it really is kind of like the best of both worlds. You get all these quality guys. Eric, how has your experience been in teaching? I know you and I talked about it several years ago. How has it been for you?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I tell you, mostly men in the classes and some women, and they have, they seem just to eat the material up and always have some good interaction, sometimes outside of class through email exchanges. And, I'm one of those guys who, like probably most preachers, much prefer face-to-face and, have some contact in a classroom. But, this is a really good option that we have. I mean, look at the four of us today, even doing this remotely. And so it has been very much a blessing. And it was also really nice to come out to Bear Valley and meet some of the students face-to-face on your lectureship. I guess it was a year or two ago. And then seeing them all around in different places. I've been invited to speak places where I'm like, oh man, yeah, you were in that class about 3 years ago or something like that. So, building relationships on top of just trying to get this, as Denny was talking about, this vital information to people who are going to have a big impact on communities and churches in the coming months and years.
Yeah, no doubt. And Dave, I know your primary focus is producing content and quality content, and you definitely do that in spades. Tell us real quickly. I have this Bible, which is amazing. This Defending the Faith study Bible, and tell us about the making of it. As I look through it, I can hardly get my brain around what it must have taken for you guys to produce this volume.
You know, we decided that, of course, we've been wanting a study Bible for a good long while and thought that it would fill a niche in the brotherhood because we're not aware of anyone else having done this. There's a couple outside of the Lord's church, but among us, there's not really an extensive apologetics treatment of the Bible. And of course, that makes it unique in that it's not a regular study Bible. You can't go there expecting comments, you know, about exegetical matters and the text and stuff, unless we deemed it a clearly apologetic sort of text. But I would say 3 or 4 years ago, we conceived the idea to get down to business and get after it. And even though it was a monumental task, really a tough task to do, we really were able to tap into 40 years worth of our writings that are on our website and in books and stuff. And really a lot, we did some fresh writing, but a lot of it was just pulling it out of those sources and organizing it in the Bible as to where we thought those articles and those discussions would best fit. And so it was really in that sense, a providential thing that the Lord enabled us to do all that work over many, many years and then bring it into one specific resource that we think, so far the evidence is that it has really had an impact really worldwide, helped a lot of people. So we're gratified by that and certainly feel that the Lord is responsible for it.
Yeah, and if someone doesn't have it yet, I highly recommend it. And the cost, what is the cost? I know you got a couple of different versions based on the cover. How much is my hard cover? I forgot what I
do,
paid.
and Eric may have to help me because I don't keep up with that. Our general manager and those that once we set the price, I believe the hardback was the first one we did, and I think, is it not $39.95, Eric?
That's right. Yeah.
And then we came up with the leather bound, and that's more like what, $79-$80 or something. And then in between there is a cover called Italian duotone, which is really amazing. In fact, I would rather have that than the leather because it's very soft to the touch, very durable. All of these are black except for the hardback that you have, but we've just come out with a maroon Italian duotone. So now it comes out in 4 different colors.
Okay. Yeah, I remember thinking this, I paid for it and then I got it and I thought this should have cost more. It is.
Yes, in fact, we surveyed the market to see what Bibles are costing, across the spectrum of religious groups and everything. And like all of our materials at AP, we're nonprofit organizations, so we deliberately cut it, considerably below what you could get a normal study Bible for, because we're really not in it for the money. We have to charge some to help defray the cost, but we depend so much on supporter contributions that we really try to make all of our stuff far below market value.
Yeah, and your VBS material, we were going to be using it here. Of course, COVID knocked the VBS out, but we're going to be using it next year. It's outstanding material. And again, far less than it should cost. I mean, right. It really is. Right. So it is that good. Also, and I know one of the things Denny and I appreciate is in the training of preachers, that there is quality material that we can trust, that we can point them to, that we can put in their hands. One of the things that I use often is the AP app. And in fact, I got a text just the other day, and somebody had a bunch of questions about Revelation, and figures. And I thought, I can spend the next 10 minutes trying to text out some answers, or I can go to the AP app and search Revelation, symbolism, something like that. And sure enough, there was a great article. I copied, pasted it in the text and sent it to them. And, to have this kind of material available and so easily and so well done is something that those of us who train preachers, it's just something we really appreciate. And it's a great contribution to the brotherhood. Speaking of that, I want to tell you a pretty cool story. This is way back, probably maybe 2006. Denny and I both went to Chamala, Tanzania, and I don't remember what Denny was teaching, but I was teaching Christian Evidences, which is one of the courses that I teach in the international schools. And I took a stack of books. I forget which one it is now, but for them to use as their textbook. Came from AP, and they were to use them during the week, but then they belonged to the school, so that we didn't have to take them every time because of cost and weight and all that. And they understood that, okay. But the last day that I was there, in fact, we were getting ready to leave. One of the students flagged me down. Oh, and I know the look, he was wanting something. And I was prepared to tell him I can't give you money or whatever. He said, sir, is it possible for me to keep my book? This is an AP book. And I said, well, it belongs to the school. He said, I know, but I have an opportunity to teach Christian evidences in the public school here. I said, really? And he's actually a trained professional teacher, public school teacher, and they allowed him, with the help of what he learned from your resources, they allowed him to teach Christian evidences in the public schools in Tanzania, and he did that for year after year. He's currently back on staff there at the School of Preaching that he graduated from. But this is where, what you're doing is going farther than you will ever go, and is doing more good than you're aware of. And so, things like that are always really
very
motivational.
encouraging.
Yeah, they are.
Very encouraging.
It is. So we appreciate what you guys are doing.
I appreciate you fellas, doing what you're doing, not only with just your overall work with Bear Valley, but you're the ones that have generated and stimulated some of these intersections, as you've called them, to take, when the Lord's people work together and not become so obsessed with their private loyalties and their own particular areas of work, but we work together and see that we're all trying to do the same thing to get material out. You all are able to get our materials in places that we would never have the opportunity to do so. So that's tremendous.
Right. Yeah. And we're happy to be able to do it because it's high quality, good stuff. And as the world changes, Denny mentioned in this country 30 years ago, the culture was different. Well, we're seeing the culture shift in other places as well. And this material is going to become even more important as cultural shifts, unfortunately, seem to be taking place. So we've got to get out in front of it. I don't know that we got in front of it in this country like we could have, but I believe we're getting in with the help of materials like you put out and the 43 international schools that we have around the world. I think we're getting out ahead of it in some ways, and hopefully can stem the tide of some of the cultural shifts that perhaps may be inevitable.
Great. Keep in mind, that we have a number of PDF books on our site that can be downloaded. Now, I don't know if in Chamala, for example, if they would have the capability, of printing a lot of pages, but at least they would have electronic access free to a lot of our books that we don't charge anything for. They just go to the PDF and download it.
Wow, that's incredible. And yeah, more and more technology is available everywhere. More and more, it's, the internet is accessible, not always dependable, but it's there, when it's there. Yeah. And so, things like that are really helpful.
Hey, Keith, I appreciate, what good you do through social media, very encouraging to the brotherhood. And also, Denny, we're also kind of joined with you guys some with World Video Bible School, and that we have gone down there at different times and taped and recorded. And so our continued hope and prayer is that through that video work with our good brethren down there at World Video Bible School and the outlets that we have, whether it be with YouTube or some other platform or some other website, that people all around the world are getting this information. Because Keith, as you said, yeah, unbelief is spreading, and it's probably spreading most rapidly because of the internet. But at the same time, God has given his people access to that in a way to influence the world for good. So it's just such a blessing to do that, and to be able to do that with good brethren all over the world.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, it's the best work in the world, and all of us would agree we are incredibly blessed to be a part of it. And one of the things that makes it just even fun is to work together with good guys that you like, and that you appreciate what they do. And they're, we say there's no competition between lighthouses. That sounds really good, but in reality, sometimes, unfortunately, we've seen there is, but there shouldn't be. And between us, there certainly is not. It's a really good relationship that I think it's a win-win. And I just wanted us to share that with some folks who might be interested in knowing. So I appreciate your time today and appreciate your work. Anybody want to say anything before we sign off?
Appreciate you fellas. Thank you, Denny, for the good work that you're doing there at the school. Thank you, Keith. We appreciate what you're doing, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Appreciate everybody.
All right, guys. Y'all take care and have a blessed week.
Hey, Keith, don't be so serious all the time, okay?
I'll try. I'll try.
All right.
Y'all take care.
You too.
All right,
You
bye.
too.
Bye.